On this episode of the Star Trek Universe podcast, we are talking about Discovery 311, Su'Kal, right after these words from these sponsors that have not been approved by these hosts.
Welcome to the Star Trek Universe podcast, the podcast where you get to listen in on the continuing Star Trek conversation that two lifelong friends have been having since they were 5 years old. My name is Matthew Carroll.
I'm David Z. Robertson.
And today we're talking about Su'Kal, right?
Yep, that's it.
Let's do it, man. Let's talk about Su'Kal.
All right. You want the CBS All Access summary?
Yeah. Hit me with that summary, that sweet, sweet summary.
Dude, what is wrong with you? Discovery ventures to the Verubian Nebula, where Burnham, Saru, and Culber make a shocking realization about the origin of the burn as the rest of the crew faces an unexpected threat.
This, how unexpected did you find this threat?
Or I'm a little on the fence about what the threat was. I mean, what was it? Just created by his mind or something from the holodecks or something? I'm a little.
They said it in like two lines, but they said like the combination of the dilithium of the planet, the radiation, and it all happening to him in utero. He somehow has like a mental connection to. I guess amplified by the planet. He has this like a mental connection to the hollows and the dilithium, and somehow that caused the burn.
Yeah, that fell flat to me.
Yeah, me too. You just see here's the problem with the, as we've joked about it multiple times, the post Tyler Durden world. Even though I don't want it to be that, like I don't want it to just be like we caused the thing because that's the clever way to spin it. I also want it to still be epic, you know? I want there to be an epic reason that kind of ties it all thematically together. And this ties to Saru's story a bit, you know?
Yeah.
And that's nice.
But not enough to like care.
Yeah, I guess I was surprised by the threat in that I was very surprised that this is what caused the burn. I thought this episode was going to be the episode where we deal with this, man-child who's been raised by hollows so that we can get to what caused the burn. I did not expect that to be the cause of the burn. Was that melody that he was singing, was that the melody that we've been hearing throughout the season?
I don't remember.
I don't either. It wasn't signature enough or noticeable enough for me to notice. I don't think that lullaby was, though.
I mean, it didn't sound familiar to me specifically, but I did wonder later. I was like, oh, yeah, was that the thing?
Yeah, I would have thought Saru would have recognized it, possibly, if that were the thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, this episode, the main thrust of it is we find out what the burn was, and it feels very end of an episode to me. Like, it feels very like, oh, this is all the planet is connected to this guy's brain, and it's what's causing the rift in the space-time. We're going to sew that up by the end of the episode. It doesn't feel like the mystery that Burnham is trying to solve big.
No, it doesn't feel big at all. It really does just feel like the end of an episode of Next Generation.
It has me longing for the days of Romulan cabals, you know?
Yeah. I hear you, man. I did feel a little flat here. Just
right.
I mean, it's fine.
And it's not over. It's not over. Like, I see, like, maybe it's not the fact that he's the cause of it that is interesting, but maybe what this leads to will be very interesting. Maybe, like, I don't know. Saru will have to become his parent and finally get off the series, you know, so they can stop doing Kelpian makeup every day.
Yeah, dude, I was sitting there. She was like, "Oh, you're Bajoran." And I was just like, "Oh, Saru's gonna be human."
Yep, Saru is definitely gonna be human. Yep, and this has me thinking even more that they're gonna let him get off the ship, especially with all this Kelpian connection and wanting to be Kelpian, especially if his planet is destroyed or something, which you still don't know what happened on Kaminar.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if he's gonna, in Spock fashion.
Yeah, in Kurtzman Spock fashion.
Yeah.
New Kaminar, have Saru be like the leader of that. Yeah.
Help his planet rebuild. That definitely feels like what could happen here. And in true let's not do makeup for people fashion, Saru has no makeup this episode and probably won't for the last three. They left him there. They're like, hey, we got to leave someone on this shit on this planet. Which one takes away the most makeup?
Yeah, I mean, they also left Adira.
No, I know.
And they have to go back within a day, or else he's gonna be dead anyway.
Oh, yeah. I just think that day is going to be the end of this season, and it looks like the end of the season could be the end of Saru for the show. So, like, it really does feel that way. It's funny.
I hope it's not the end of Saru. I hope we get Saru back.
Me too.
But he goes, "You're right, though. I'm not ready to be captain." And then we can move on and actually have Burnham the captain of the ship like we're supposed to have, because I just don't see a reality where we're not making her the captain eventually.
I think it's true eventually. And she's going to be proving herself here. I don't know that it's yet, because at this point, I don't know that she feels like she wants to be on the ship at all.
No, I think she's resolved that particular arc.
Maybe. I don't know that she has. I don't know that she feels like this is like Starfleet is her lifelong pursuit now. She definitely said she did, but I don't know. But we'll see. We'll see.
Or what would be crazier is Tilly being the captain forever.
Yeah.
Dude, Tilly kicked ass in this episode.
Tilly did kick ass this episode. She didn't get to do a whole lot, but just a little bit of talking to Osira was pretty cool.
I mean, Osira called her bluff. There was nothing else they could have done. Like, in any original series episode where Kirk, made a strong stand and bluffed his way out of a situation, if someone had just, like, been able to outgun them and just taken over the ship, I mean...
There's not much to do in that situation. Now, she could have tried for the self-destruct, which she said she'd do. But I don't know if she really has that in her or not.
I'm not sure she has, like, the clearance codes all the way. Because it took Kirk and crew like 3 different people to activate the self-destruct on the Enterprise in Star Trek 3.
And it probably wasn't, there wasn't time to do that. It seemed like she didn't even know there were people on her ship until they hit the bridge, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah, I mean, I just sort of took that as an editing issue. Like, you can't just show them all like pop up at once.
Well, but it was like a good bit. It was a good chunk between.
Oh yeah, you're right. She was asking Stamets about what's going on in the city.
Yeah, she didn't know what's going on after he'd been like attacked by Osira's men.
You're right.
Yeah. So, who all we got? Book was pretty cool this episode. Just kind of Book, the taxi driver who gets you from the dilithium planet to Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
His ship, we knew that it kind of morphed and changed. I don't think we've ever seen it morph and change as much as it did this episode.
Yeah, I've never seen it do all that now.
It was cool.
But it was cool.
Book was cool. Book's cat made a couple of notable appearances.
I guess. I mean, I'm assuming I am waiting for that stupid cat to be the Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah. So
I told you she's a queen. I am waiting for that line. Whatever happens, turns into a person.
She's not the queen, is she? I thought the queen was the worm in the first episode.
No, he keeps referring to the cat as a queen, and it's gonna be like the damn cat from what was it? Assignment Earth with
or Captain Marvel or
no
or Men in Black.
Well, no, specifically there was a cat in the original series that ran around with Gary Seven, who was a time traveler, and it was actually like a sort of it was a backdoor pilot that never really got off the ground. But it was a really cool episode where there's this guy named Gary Seven running around, and he has a cat, and the cat turns into a woman from time to time. All
right. I can dig it.
So if it's like part of that species.
Sure. Yeah.
And I've always wanted to know more about Gary Seven and that organization. Always. Like, desperately. And you know what? He was a time traveler. So they could totally be pulling that into this season, like, with temporal war stuff.
I think that is possible. It would definitely be like a bookend, I feel like. Like a, hey.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Like the end of book?
No, not what I meant, but sure. Possibly. Just for the pun. Just for the pun of it, we'll also end the book while we bookend. But no, I could totally see something like that as like the last reel, you know, all this stuff you dealt with. Thanks for doing that. We're us time travelers. What time travelers? We don't follow your temporal accords. I'm Gary 8.
Right.
But yeah, I think that this last 2 episodes is going to focus on the story that it's been telling this whole time, which is really, at this point, especially now that we know what caused the burn, like, and it really doesn't seem to have much to do with any of this. I think that it is going to be, this is going to focus on Osyraa. Like, that's the story now. Osyraa has the ship. Osyraa just jumped it to Starfleet headquarters, and that's where we're going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't... was there anything else super interesting in this episode to you about this world that they built? I thought it was a cool concept.
It was a somewhat cool concept. I like the fact that his mother created all of those hollows for him.
Yeah.
I really loved everything that Doug Jones did when, like, experiencing the first time seeing an elder Kelpian.
Yeah.
Was just tugged on my heartstrings, man. I suspected that the monster in the book was going to be his mother, and that, like,
she was like protecting
they
him.
were. Yeah, like, I thought that, and I thought maybe, like, when Kelpians get to a certain age, they actually turn into the Bakul, because we still didn't really see what they were. And, like, maybe the Bakul, or whatever they were called.
Baul, I believe.
Isn't that what they were called?
Yeah, they said this episode, Baul.
Baul, whatever.
The reason I remember it, because I always thought they sounded like Gua'uld, which is from the Stargate show, and it was a similar race that came down and culled people. The Gua'uld.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought maybe, like, she was one of those, and then it just turned out it was like a thing from a book that he created.
Yeah, I still didn't fully understand the rules there. It was like he has to, he needed to face his greatest fear, but it never really explained what that meant. And I guess that's still going on now, as of this, or did him, like, listening to the lullaby and not being afraid of the monster, was that him facing his greatest fear?
Yeah, I think his greatest fear was facing the monster.
Okay,
but
yeah,
I don't know.
They talked about that door and the totem being danger, and then the way he, like, was scared of the outside world. You know, I thought we were going somewhere where we were going to get him finding out that. Or us finding out that the door that he's been hiding behind or hiding from was the way out of the simulation. And he's so scared to leave because this is all he's ever known.
Yeah.
But I guess that didn't come to fruition exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at exactly. I don't.
We both seem a little disaffected with this particular plot line, and I think it's just because if this was an episode, it would be a fine episode. But as a resolution to the burn, it feels very hollow.
This is one of those times where I find us delightful, but I hate us.
You're like, anyone listening to this, I hope they find it funny like we do to talk like this, but also, man, I would hate to listen to these two talk about how disaffected they are with this episode. I
mean, look, I'm not disaffected. I got, like I said, I got worked up with Saru reacting to the old Kelpian, and all of that stuff was really great.
Yeah, for sure.
It really was. I got amped up with Tilly on the bridge, like talking her smack and pulling it together. I even liked the little manufacturing defect on the chair, even though it didn't look like a manufacturing defect on the chair when they kept showing it.
Yeah,
it just looked like a knob they put there for some reason,
like a bolt or something.
Yeah. There were a lot of things I liked about the episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. Did not mind it at all.
I mean, there were things that fell flat for me and just kind of made me go, yeah, okay, is that's what we're doing? No, okay.
Yeah, it's a problem with a mystery. Anytime you set up a big mystery, it's hard to make the big mystery work when...
It's the problem with the J.J. Abrams mystery box concept.
Yeah, absolutely. When all you have is mystery. And I don't think that's all they have here at all. Mm-hmm. I think they actually have a lot more this season than the mystery. I really like the world building. I really like Osyraa. I like the growth of Tilly. I like Saru, kind of failing as captain. Yeah, I've really enjoyed so much of what's going on here. But I do think that there's something a little when you set up a big mystery as the thing the season is about, and then you get to here, it just feels a little hollow. Yeah.
And I think the writers would probably backpedal on that and be like, well, that's not what the season was about. The season was about, reestablishing the Federation and Discovery finding its place. The burn was just a secondary mystery throughout. Okay.
Yeah, but it's all your main character cares about. It's she's been obsessed with it. So we're supposed to feel like that's important. And I have not gotten that so much.
I totally agree with
you. At least yet. Who knows? This may... What can this kid do once he finds out? What can Saru use this kid's powers for? Can they use this power for good? Can they defeat Osyraa using this kid's powers? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious to know. They might decide that he's too dangerous to live. I doubt they'll actually do that, though. That does seem very Starfleet.
No, that's very dark, but can be interesting. Oh man, yeah. So where goes it from here? How do you think they're wrapping this up? I feel like the burn, we've been talking about with the burn for so many episodes, and now there's no theorizing about that anymore. That's over. So what is it? What happens now?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like, just Osyraa stuff, wrapping up with Osyraa, and hopefully there's more to it than that, though. I honestly feel a little sad. This could have been the end of the season with her taking over the ship and stuff. We've got the burn settled, and now Osyraa's taking over the ship. This could have been the final episode of the season.
As a cliffhanger? As a cliffhanger?
Absolutely.
Sure, it could have been. I don't know. I think that this. I think there's more. I think there's more story to tell here. There's more to tell.
Always. Always.
How's your holiday, man? It's weird. This episode has me, I don't have a ton to say. I like the things you just mentioned that you like. I like all that too.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel a little hollow about the burn reveal. So,
yeah, me too.
I don't know where else to go with this particular episode.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord, we've done, like an hour and a half on everything? And I never really made a call out for any feedback, per se. I forgot to look for it, so I guess I'll pop over and see what we've got.
Yeah, man, we got time to fill here.
Yeah, I've been busy, man. I forgot about feedback.
It's Christmas. We're just hopping in to do this quick episode because we didn't want to let it linger all week. And you're about to head out of town, so I didn't want to miss this week, but
sure.
Yeah, if we got feedback, we'll hit some feedback. If not, we'll it's all good. It's all good, baby. I'm cool with a 15-minute episode about a Discovery episode. It's good.
Little Trank says to us, the possibility of Guinan and Q on Star Trek Picard next season makes my smart ball explode.
Does smart ball mean brain?
I don't know.
It's not really ball shaped. If it is, get that checked out, Little Trank.
Stu Little says, my headcanon for Trek's future tech being inconsistent with present day tech is the nuclear wars threw Earth into a bit of a backwards dark age and had to sort of reset our development in that regard. It could also explain the obsession with antiquated pop culture because a lot of stuff would have been destroyed, and what remains is culturally significant stuff that got kept in bunker archives like silent movies and classical music, and not so much the Lethal Weapon series.
Oh, Dave, I'm getting told for this.
He also says, according to for our Mandalorian conversation last week, says Boba was revealed to be a clone in the prequels, appearing as a child in episode 2, which puts him in his late 30s, early 40s in the Mandalorian. And then it says, if Georgiou was in the Picard era, she and Garrick could do cocktails and shade everyone else in the franchise.
Hold on. Boba wasn't. I may be wrong. I am not a big Star Wars guy, so as my favorite podcaster always says, I'm famously a medium Star Wars guy. Jordan Morris of Jordan Jesse Go, my favorite podcast. But he always says he's a medium Star Wars guy, and I very much identify with that. But he wasn't a clone in that, was he? I thought that Boba was the son of Jango. Jango was the basis for all the clones.
Yeah, there's Jango, but then there was the son who was a clone. Apparently, I remember there being like, oh, Boba's in there. Oh, I remember people.
I thought that was just because Boba was his son, like his actual natural son, and then Jango was the basis for all the clone armies. That's what that's how I remember it. But I don't know. But so it's not a clone of Boba, even if so he's saying even if it is, he is a clone of Jango, possibly.
Well, there was, I don't know. I don't know anything about it, man. I'm not a person with Star Wars.
I'm not a person with Star Wars. Don't Star Wars ask me.
There was a day. This is how I feel when people start bringing up Star Wars stuff to me. There was a day where I'd had a long day and I was on the interstate and my tire blew and I had to find a place to get a used tire somewhere, and finally found this place. It was pouring rain. I'm standing there waiting for them to pull my car back out. And this lady walks up to me and starts talking to me about her car. And I'm so confused. And finally I respond to her. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm not real. I meant to say I don't work here.
Yep, that's different. That's a different thing than I'm not real.
She complained because their employee said, I'm not real. And they were like, he doesn't work here. He's a very tired customer. he's had a lot of stuff going on. Like, they laughed. I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what the hell I was saying. I knew as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, that's not right.
That's very funny. That's great. Oh, man. So any other feedback today?
I'm not seeing any.
All right.
I didn't put out a proper call out. I've just been too busy. I'm so sorry,
man.
everybody.
It's all good, man. You been traveling for the holidays and such?
I've been around.
Getting around a little bit. Yeah,
keep away, but get around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we quarantined for a week and a half so we could go see, about 2 weeks, and so we could go see Alyssa's dad, who's had some bad health problems this year, and so we didn't want to get him sick, and then did not go see my family, and then found out today it sounds like they all have COVID, so that's great.
Bullet dodged.
Bullet dodge. It's really scary, and my family's not in good health either, but.
Yeah.
They don't have an acute problem. They're just generally in bad health. So,
well, I don't think any of their problems are cute, but,
hopefully they'll, get through it. Okay. My mom, I don't know. My mom's always fighting off something, and this is clearly something that a lot of people have had a hard time with. So,
yeah, I'm sorry, man.
It's all good.
It's not.
It's nothing I can do, I should say. So
yeah, well, that unfortunately, yeah.
And it really is like it's just such a shitty disease, and the fact that the best thing to do is just stay away from people, and like there's nothing I can do. I can't like go take care of them or any of that stuff. So it's just all kind of shitty.
I know, man. I know, and it sucks.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm glad we could hop on and do a quick episode because I did not want to get so far behind and not get to talk about this episode because I'm really enjoying this season of Discovery, and I'm like super pumped to see the showdown with Osyraa.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested. I'm pretty interested to see it. This is my least favorite episode of the season so far.
I'm with that. I'm totally with you.
And I'm not saying it was bad.
Yeah, I don't think it was bad. But it was definitely my least favorite as well, which is, that's saying something. This season's been pretty good. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, of this show, it's been, I think, the best season. Really, really enjoyed it. But this one was a little light. A little light in the,
yeah, man.
A little light in the substance, I guess. All right. Well, I guess that'll be all from us, guys, on the Star Trek Universe podcast. It's a little light week. Just a Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, whatever holiday you subscribe to. We're just sitting here on the day after Christmas, so we just celebrated that. Mm-hmm. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah.
Jerry Ryan has said that Picard is pushed to February 1st now, as far as the start date.
Start of filming or start of
filming?
Okay,
production.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
production start. Not. I thought you were saying it was coming back, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's soon.
No,
gotcha. He said no in a very serious manner. No.
No, sir.
No, sir. That's not what it is.
That's what we've got.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll be back with you guys soon.
Happy holidays, y'all, and we'll see you in the new year.
Happy holidays. Happy Life Day,
whatever.
Sorry, wrong franchise. Jolan True.
Happy Captain Picard Day. Live long and prosper. Cake is eternal.
Thank you for listening to the Star Trek Universe podcast, a Stranded Panda production. If you'd like to hear more from David C. Robertson, check out the DC On Screen podcast or maladjusted.tv for his web videos. If you'd like to hear more from Matthew Carroll, check out the Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast or listen to his music. Just search for Matthew Carroll anywhere you get music.